Hello. I have been gone for some time, and I'm just coming back to this Savoy playthrough. As you can see, I am playing as Savoy, and this is me down here with 40,000 army, and my allies Castile and Portugal with 40,000 each, so together we have like 120,000 army. Lithuania is also an ally of mine, and I'm working on England, though I haven't quite gotten them. They have 67,000, which is almost, it's not exactly almost double me, but a lot more than me. France also has quite a few more than me, and you can see they're in red because they are my enemies. Venice used to be my ally. Now they actually have a bigger army than me, and they're an enemy of mine. Austria, with 88,000 troops and in a coalition against me, are quite worrisome, man. And then right now I'm at war with the Ottomans, the Mamluks, and Algiers, all of whom have huge amounts of army, but only the Ottomans is actually attacking me. Castile and Portugal are fighting down there on their own. So this 134,000 troops is the big concern up in here. So I recently sent a diplomat over to Algiers to make them to sow discontent, hopefully to lower their resolve to fight in the war, and it seems to have been working. They used to have high war enthusiasm, and now they have low war enthusiasm. They're very happy to hold their capital. They're very happy to have a ginormous freaking army, and they are very unhappy because they're being besieged, and because their alliance, they don't perceive their alliance to be as strong as ours. They have far more troops, although I think none of them are of Western tech, so I suspect that we're going to crush them. So the goal here is just to not lose any manpower while I hold out and wait for the war to end. Hopefully I won't cost us too much war score, because we're already behind in war score, and the Ottomans are sieging up my territory. So I can't take any fights, but as long as I sit in the mountains near my capital, I should be able to do just fine. So that's where we left off, and now we shall resume. I might miss something extremely important, something or other extremely important, because when you go away for a long time, then come back, you forget a little bit of what's going on. So Algiers offered me white peace, but it would, I believe, taking a separate peace would break my alliance with France and Spain. I mean, not France, but Spain and Portugal and Aragon. And I believe that breaking that alliance would lead to me being crushed by Austria and France and Provence and lots of other people. So I don't know that I want to do that. The question really as to whether or not I want to take a separate white peace right now is, do I think that our side will win this war? And I sort of do, but if the Ottomans actually fight me like they seem to be ready and willing to do, this 60,000 troop stack, then I will be dead, and then we will probably lose. So I'm going to accept white peace for sure, and I'm going to be very unhappy that I no longer am allied with Aragon. But I bet they'll accept an alliance. No, they won't. Oh, they're a vassal of Castile. So that didn't actually break my alliance. That's weird. You would think accepting a separate peace would break my alliance, but whatever. So I want to become allies of England, but we are truly upset about many a thing. Irritated over claims, allied to a rival, and we used to be at war. So I'll have to... we're working on that. We're working on it, man. We're working on it. So I don't think I currently have another big war goal. I think I need to recover manpower before I can fight any wars. So at this point, it's just a yes. Munster has left the coalition against us. Mainz has canceled the military access. We don't care about that. Our diplomat came home. Alsace has canceled military access. Genoa left the alliance against us, and England no longer wants to be able to walk through our territory. So everything's looking good on this front. I suspect that Castile is dead now that I abandoned them. And that's very sad for them. But as long as they're still my allies, I guess it's okay. I can't decide if I want to fight against someone big like France or even someone small like Genoa. I think as long as there's a coalition against me that includes Austria, I should just build up manpower and not fight anyone. So we've lost the effects of the crusade that we got from fighting Muslims. That was funny because we were in a war with the Muslims like for ages, and then all of a sudden the Ottomans actually came to our territory, and it was like, yeah, crusade bonus. Which makes sense, you know, like there's suddenly Muslims in your territory. That would make me want to fight harder too. We have gained trade dispute against France. Okay, that's fine. Provence left the coalition against us. Awesome. And yeah, I think I'm just going to hold out. Hopefully Austria will stop being in a coalition against me at some point pretty soon. And then from there, I'll try to decide who to attack. I don't really have the same short-term goals that I used to. Actually, I'm going to stop sowing discontent among these guys because I don't need to anymore. I believe, let's see. I believe that my diplomats should be doing something. I'm surprised Venice is... Wow, they're really not happy. I guess I rivaled Venice. That was probably not a good idea. Oh. And then the Swiss used to be my my vassals. I beat them in a war and they got vassalized by me. And then somebody won a war against me and released them, so now they are not my friends. I'm spending so much time just kind of looking around, being like, where did I leave things? I could actually ally with Provence, but then France would get to absorb them. I've been trying to form a giant coalition against France for a long time. I've been kissing England's butt in that regard. I don't currently have any vassals or any subjects. And I know some of these smaller nations would probably take vassalization. These guys would, except for that they are either the wrong religion or the wrong government type. I kind of want to kill Genoa. Who's allied with Genoa? Austria, Naples, and Provence. Well, that's not good. And then Tuscany is allied with me and Hungary. Why would I ally Tuscany? I guess because I abandoned Venice. Like, at first, I allied Venice, and I was like, oh, Venice could be a good ally. And then I was like, actually, I could take a lot of Venice's territory because they're not that strong. And then now they have this huge, strong army, and they hate me, and I'm too busy fighting other people to do anything about it. That made me really regret that. So now I've been like allying all of my nearby neighbors. Corsica. Austria tells us of... Did they leave the coalition against us? They did. No, they didn't. I should really read those messages, but they pop up and I'm like, quick, close it. And then I'm like, I wonder what it meant. Okay, so I can get an alliance here. I can get vassalization of Corsica. I will do that. Royal marriage. Great. And then an alliance and a guarantee. Now I know what to do with this diplomat. Alliance. So I want to send one diplomat for a very long-term improve relations with Corsica mission. And I'm allied to one of their rivals. I might have to break that depending on who it is. Who are their rivals? Genoa. Yeah, it's probably Genoa or the Papal State. And I should be able to get military access to get another +10 opinion. There we go. And finally, proclaim guarantee and send gift should put me at 190 once I've got the extra 100 from this other nonsense. Establish a protectorate. They're too technologically advanced. That's funny. Here's proclaim guarantee. Awesome. Okay, so I'm waiting for Austria to stop hating me. I'm going to diplo-vassalize Corsica, I think. And then maybe the Pope? It'd be fun to diplo-vassalize the Pope. Is he going to take a vassalization? Oh no, he's not a monarch, so he can't take diplomatic vassalization. Corsica's a member of the Empire, so that will upset Austria. But whatever, I've already upset Austria to a pretty great degree. So Spain is still on my side in the universe, but they're still fighting the war against the Ottomans, so I can't use them to conquer France. I'm like picking off little tiny pieces. Like I'm thinking about tiny island of Corsica, the tiny island of Genoa's Liguria, and all that stuff. Maybe taking a couple things down in Italy. I'm not thinking of anything big like fighting France because I have like no manpower. I just played my very first ever 4-hour 12-man multiplayer game of EU4, and it was super fun. But in that multiplayer game, you have to constantly fully fund your army because at any moment you could get attacked by a player, and that's not true in multiplayer. I mean, in single player. So I was just funding my army for no reason. But then I realized, oh, this is the AI. They're never going to attack me unless it's obvious that they were going to attack me up front. And I'm also not spending my administrative power because I want to get up to 999 before I bother. So let's befriend Austria as much as we can. I want to get them out of this constant hatred. They're in a coalition against me. Now this might just be laziness. Like they joined the coalition against me and there's no reason to leave it now. Yeah, I might need to get them to leave the coalition by giving them a better target for coalition or something. Ooh, Switzerland has no allies. I feel like I should attack Switzerland, but I can't with Austria being a nutter butter, threatening to murder me. Let's look at the diplomatic screen. Let's see. They have casus belli against me. They're embargoed by some people. They're embargoing some people. They grant military access to Liege. They really have no allies at all. That's really strange. I'm doing it. Who can I bring in on this? Castile will come, which is crazy because they're currently fighting the Ottomans. Naples and Tuscany will come. The Pope will not. Portugal will not. Lithuania and Poland and Corsica will all not. So, do I have the strength to fight Austria with only Castile? Austria has 88,000 troops. I have 40. I do not. I need to get Denmark or something to come. Is Denmark no longer allied with me? Let's try to get this alliance going again. So they would accept it. Oh, we can't form an alliance for 4 more years. So I can't go fight in Switzerland just yet, but it looks like I can pretty soon. Basic financial instruments. So another thing that I learned in that 4-hour multiplayer game, some guy who's playing Britain who was hanging out with me, helping me as I was playing France and he's playing Britain, and we were ganging up on Burgundy. And he was saying that you should fight all of your early wars with mercenaries even if you can afford not to, because manpower, and this makes sense, manpower is more valuable the higher tech you get, the higher military tech you get. So think about it, if you throw away 10,000 troops 5 years before you upgrade them to be better troops, then it's like you threw away 5,000 of those better troops. Whereas if you hire mercenaries, the cost of mercenaries is based on their tech level, it's not based on manpower. So in the early game, it makes more sense to hire mercenaries, and then in the later game, it makes more sense to use your own troops. And like, I would sacrifice $500 to have full manpower right now, right? And by spending $500 on mercenaries that all die, I would essentially be preserving the lives of these troops, which are all alive right now. So, on the one hand, it makes strategic sense to pause, figure out what these 2 diplomats should be doing, get them to work, and then unpause. But on the other hand, I was playing so much multiplayer and letting the game run constantly. It's just so much more fun to always have the game running. Pause and figure out what to do. That doesn't seem right. So Venice I might be able to repair relations with Venice. I mean, they certainly don't like me, but I mean, I certainly don't like them, but they like me. And most of my hatred is because I have rivaled them. So if I stop rivaling Venice, and just rival France. I mean, now that Venice has 40,000 troops, I could get them to help me again. So the rival thing went away. We're down to just -34. And now I need to get access to walk around in their territory. We'll grant them access anyway. Oh, great. And then they rivaled me as soon as I unrivaled them. Well, that's silly. Maybe they had already rivaled me. Württemberg has left the military coalition against us now. It's just Austria. Come on, Austria. Seriously, let me kill whoever I want. Oh, Corsica, I'd love to vassalize you diplomatically. We no longer have a claim on Dauphin. And our diplomat has returned. We have 2 diplomats not doing anything. So let's just start claiming some territory over here. And some French territory, because why not, right? I'm already fabricating French claims. I'm never going to want revolt risk over losing prestige. Prestige, I have like 100 of it, and that's the max, so why not lose as much of it as I can, right? So it looks like France and Austria are fighting. Let's see if we can get in on that war. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so if I attack France, is it even possible for Austria to come in on to defend France? I don't think Austria can be on the same side as someone that they're against. I don't think that's possible. So I'm going to attack France, and we will find out. Diplomacy, attack France. Call allies, yes. And I should fund my army too. Before I do that. Alright, declare war on France, call allies. Bourbon. I think Bourbon and the Hansa. The Hansa's usually like 20,000 troops. It's no big deal. France has got this giant doom army walking around Austria that I'm watching, but they should probably have lost it by the time I enter the war. And it's right next to my army right here. They got about 25,000 troops there. So if I join the war right now, I could probably go crush their whole army. That's pretty funny. Hey, beautiful lady. So they're walking to Savoy. They're gonna get crushed. They're gonna crush themselves. That's funny. So even though Austria is in a coalition against me, they're not gonna join in on this war because they're on the opposite side of the same war already. So it's impossible for them to join. Are you recording? I am recording. Yes. And there we go. Big fight with all of the French troops against all of my troops. And I wanted to... Ooh, somebody offered me an alliance. I wanted to recruit a bunch of mercenaries before I did that. Hungary will ally me. I don't know. I don't see why not. Why not? Hungary isn't a very good ally, but it's better than nothing, and I don't need the diplomatic power, so I'll take all the allies I can get. Alright. Time to hire some mercenaries. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 more. And I will try to... I'll have a mercenary-only army that I send out front with my vassals attached to it, and try to get them to bear the brunt of all fights. 'Cause then, like, the fact that mercenaries have a huge maintenance cost won't be relevant because they will die so quickly. Aztec are in a civil war. Awesome. Alright, everyone go there except for the regular troops, which should sit in my capital. And in Piedmont. We'll keep our important manpower-based regular troops in the mountains where they are very well defended. And then we'll start capping stuff with And there's a little checkbox here. If you uncheck it, then any vassals you have will not attach to this army. I don't think I have any vassals. In fact, I know I don't. But if I did, then that check mark tells my vassals where I want them. I might have a bunch of allies in this war. I do indeed. 134,000 troops against France's 40. And hopefully if I just keep all my army here focused on Dauphin, then the fact that France is at war with England and Austria, it will allow them to get their troops killed somewhere else. I'm not going to try to defend my territory. Because they got 13,000 troops like sieging up my territory, but Austria is going to say, ooh, a little tiny French stack, I can go crush it. And then, ta-da. Melissa, I don't want it turned down.